So, you've decided to learn about regional integration. Great, you've come to the right place. But we're sure you've come across different theories of integration, such as functionalism, liberalism, intergovernmentalism, when learning about regional integration. And you've thought to yourself, wait, what? Don't worry, you're not alone on that front. Like for many of us, these theories can be confusing. So here's a breakdown of what each theory means. But before we get into the meanings of these theories, we have to understand that they were largely developed to understand European integration and are now being used to understand integration efforts across the world. Now, let's get into it. Let's start with functionalism. What is functionalism? The idea behind functionalism is for member states to focus cooperation in areas that are more functional, interdependent, and do not require them to lose high levels of their sovereignty. The thought is that if states can cooperate in such areas, over time they'll be able to cooperate in more complicated areas. We can imagine a snowball effect. A snowball starts out small, but over time it rolls and gets bigger and bigger. And then we have what is called Neofunctionalism. From the name, we can assume that it holds some similarities to functionalism. But the difference is that Neofunctionalism gives special attention to the role that sub-state actors in the integrating area play. Integration increases when cooperation between such groups increases and they jointly lobby their political leaders. In Neofunctionalism, we also see an emphasis in the role that regional institutions have in deepening integration. Comparatively, functionalism focuses on the role of the state. Now let's talk about intergovernmentalism and supranationalism. Intergovernmentalism basically looks to keep authority vested in member states. So states cooperate in certain areas of common interest and may have regional level organizations, but those organizations perform trivial tasks, such as administrative work to prepare for meetings. Intergovernmentalism protects the sovereignty of states. A branch of intergovernmentalism is what we call liberal intergovernmentalism. While intergovernmentalism focuses on national interests, liberal intergovernmentalism focuses on emphasizing domestic interests. At its first level, domestic groups will compete to influence the national preference or national position. Then with these national positions, member states will engage in intergovernmental negotiations, and the outcome of these negotiations lead to further integration. Supranationalism, on the other hand, sees member states cooperating and renouncing more sovereignty to regional level organizations. For example, member states can give authority to regional organizations to make decisions that will be binding on all member states, or the authority to settle disputes. Intergovernmentalism and supranationalism are therefore on opposite ends of the spectrum. So, we have looked at some, and yes, these are only some of the theories of integration. We will now look at some of the approaches or models that have been used to pursue integration. Three classical models of integration are market integration, neofunctional integration, and development integration. The most common approach in Africa that has been used is the market integration approach. Most African regional economic communities have adopted this approach, largely influenced by the European experience. This approach looks to integrate states by breaking down economic barriers between markets so that trade may be made easier. There is a gradual process that is followed as a community moves from a preferential trade area to a free trade area, to a customs union, to a common market, to a monetary and economic union, and lastly to a political union with unified fiscal, monetary, and trade policies, achieving the highest level of market integration. The second model is neofunctional integration. As described earlier, this model focuses on the role of sub-state actors and interest groups in integration, rather than the state. Neofunctionalism takes a step-by-step approach, emphasizing cooperation in areas that will have immediate benefits such as health, transport, and trade. Additionally, neofunctionalists view supranational regional institutions as the driving force because such institutions can connect the economies of independent states. The third model, which has gained traction in recent years, is the development integration approach. According to this approach, cooperation between states should not only focus on trade, but also cover areas such as peace and security and infrastructure development. So everyone, while this clip did not cover all theories of integration, we hope this has given you a better foundation, and by watching this, we have simplified things for you. All the best.